What's going on, y'all? Stoker Racing Repair here. In today's video, we're going to be going over our 1982 Chevy S-10, everything that's coming in the future for it, and what's going to be getting changed on it for the LS. But before we do that, let's get a cold start and get this thing pulled out so we can see it better. All right, y'all, so we got the S-10 pulled over to the yard so we can get a better look at it. And as the truck sits right now, it has a 355 small block Chevy in it, mild cam, set of heads on it. And it's backed by a junkyard turbo 350 at the moment, and it has a Ford 9-inch rear end in it. This truck has been in our family for over 20 years now, and I recently bought it off of my grandpa about 2 years ago, and I've enjoyed it ever since. While the truck is fun and all, I wanted to do something special to it. It's been a small block its whole life, basically, since it was built in the early 90s. And I'm seeing this LS stuff, and I really want to give it a shot. So I'm going to throw an LS in this thing. So I'm actually leaving the Turbo 350 in it for now. I have a built Turbo 350 with the trans brake set up under the bench right now. I'll be getting that rebuilt. It's blown up, second gear's out of it, but I'll be getting that rebuilt and I'll be putting it back in this truck so we can go drag racing with it. So the only thing I'm doing to the LS is I'm throwing a cam in it and maybe going through it, but all I'm doing is just putting the cam in it and throwing it in there. I don't really plan to do much to it because in the future I have something up my sleeve for it. While this may not be happening anytime soon, I'm going to be putting some turbos in this thing in the future, so be on the lookout for that. Basically, the purpose of this video is to show you guys everything I'm going to be changing on the truck to fit the LS. So the motor that sits in it right now is a 355 that was built in 1993. It has a set of dark, I think, Torker heads on it. They don't make them anymore, but it's a really small head, and then it's got a little cam in it. This motor has a cast iron crank in it, and it has a set of forged pistons. So, I mean, it's hopped up a little bit, but it's not hopped up too much. Just a fun street truck, so nothing too fancy. The truck does have a 6AL system on it with the two-step. As you guys heard when I was pulling in, it's got two-step on it. It's set pretty high right now, but I can lower it as I please. Just have to get a screwdriver out. The reason I'm putting LS in it is I've always wanted to try the LS stuff out, and my buddies over at Winter Circle are helping me out with the deal, so I appreciate it greatly, and without them I wouldn't be able to do this. So really, with putting the LS in, there's not too much I really have to change. It's already a small block, so everything that's made to fit the small block is basically going to fit for the LS. I'll have to swap motor mounts over. I'll have to notch this heater box, which I'll show you guys real quick. So right where this heater box is, the coil packs on the LS are going to sit up pretty high and are going to be in this. So what I'll have to do is take a hammer or cut this out and notch it to fit the coil packs. Now my truck already has a small brake booster on it, so I don't have to worry about hitting the coil packs with that or anything. But one thing I am going to have to change is my steering shaft. The one that's on it right now actually goes through my headers, as you can see there. But on the small, the LS, it won't be able to do that. So I'll have to buy a Hooker Blackheart steering shaft. Now, if you guys might have seen my one video about 6 or 8 months back, I had just taken this motor out and resealed everything, painted everything, and put it back in. But this time, I'm taking it out for good, and we're putting the LS in it. Also, one more thing I am gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to cut this core support and push this radiator in flush, so I have front accessory room for the LS, because the front accessories stick out pretty good. And then another thing I'm gonna have to do is to make the stock power steering pump work that's come with the LS on the Silverados, is I'll have to put a high pressure line from the pump down to this the steering box with a stock 2001 Silverado power steering line, so it'll be really easy. Also, my stock cable will work. I'll have to buy a new one, but the throttle cable will work with these S10s. Now, to fit the Turbo 350 with the LS, I'll have to buy a flex plate and I think it's like a crank thing that makes the torque converter snout fit into the crank. So it's like 60 or 70 bucks online, so it won't be that bad. Now, I'm hoping my geometry with the transmission and LS matches the same as the small block and like how it's set up right now. So hopefully I can leave my drive shaft and my cross member where it's at. Now, for headers, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. There's these, I'll put a picture of them right here. I forget what they're called, but I think it's like 200 bucks for these. Or there's the cheap eBay headers, which I don't really want to do. Or I can go the more expensive route and get the Hooker Blackheart headers. They're not headers, they're manifolds. But I'd like to get headers for it, honestly. Now, I will be leaving my wheel tubs in it for now, but if I get turbos, I'm probably gonna be taking those out. But my goal with this truck is to make it drag and drive. How it's set up right now, I love how I can just hop in, turn the key, and drive wherever I wanna go. Yeah, overall, my goal is to make this truck fast, on a budget, and streetable still. Now, I know fast and budget don't really go well together, but basically I just want to make it as budget friendly as I can. You know, like, I don't have all the money in the world. I'm just doing this for YouTube content mainly. I want to show you guys what I can do, and I love this truck so much. But yeah, my goal is just make it budget oriented, but also very cool. Now, I'm sure there's stuff I'm forgetting, but as we go along on this build series, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm sure gonna be adding more stuff to the list, but I appreciate all you guys for watching, liking, subscribing on these videos. I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys, and I want to thank Winter Circle for helping me out along this build, and hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks.